Hospitality, travel and live events will have to wait months to fully reopen. Also today, the number of people out of work ticks up again, but furlough keeps the lid on unemployment for now. And Europe's biggest bank, HSBC, pivots to Asia as profits fall sharply, but not as much as expected. Good morning. This is Ian King Live. It's an hour of business and economic news from the heart of the city. Well, we were told it was all about data, not dates, weren't we? Well, it became a flurry of, well, dates. And that is what business was hoping for, a clear route to the easing of restrictions. But there are now mixed emotions in those sectors that are hardest hit by the crisis. So far, frustration that it won't be quicker, hope and excitement for the future, but still real worry about the weeks and the months to come. Well, throughout today's programme, we'll hear from business people across the UK economy as they navigate the Prime Minister's roadmap to what we all hope will be a more normal summer. Well, first, I can speak to Dr. Adam Marshall, Director General of the British Chambers of Commerce, and also Mike Cherry, National Chair of the Federation of Small Business. Welcome to both of you, gentlemen. To you first, Adam, I've seen that you are welcoming this pathway, but calling for absolute clarity and honesty over the weeks ahead. What do you mean by that?
Well, first of all, of course, it is good, Samantha, to see a plan in place that enables businesses in turn to start planning how they might reopen and indeed recover. But there were a lot of caveats in what we heard from the Prime Minister yesterday, some data-driven milestones that need to be met no earlier than April the 12th, May the 17th, etc., for some of the steps as well. Government's got to up its game on communication over the coming weeks because anything that pushes this plan off to the right will hurt businesses who are trying to plan for reopening. So they've got to be extraordinarily clear with companies and with the public if there's going to be any change to this route map.
And when you call for honesty, it is the suggestion that perhaps it hasn't been honest before.
Well, we've had a lot of stop-start movement over the past year, which has hurt huge numbers of businesses, particularly in terms of their cash flow. Companies having to throw out their stock or move their people back onto furlough at extremely short notice. That's been incredibly damaging. So if there is likely to be a longer delay, or it is going to take more time for a particular sector or part of the economy to reopen, that's got to be signaled well in advance, because a lot of businesses simply won't survive any more of these stop-start lockdowns.
Yeah, signalling so important with all of this, isn't it? Let's bring you in here, Mike Cherry, Federation of Small Business. We've seen a timetable, a hopeful timetable to a return to activity. The businesses that you represent will be along all the stages of that. Who do you expect, and who are you concerned about, and who do you think has actually done better than you might have hoped for?
Well, clearly there are businesses that have innovated, moved sideways, readjusted their model and done very well out of this last 12 months. But on the counter to that, as we all know, when you look at retail, hospitality, leisure, event sector, and all of their supply chains, they are literally just hanging on by their fingertips now. And it's great that the government has responded to what we and others have been calling for, as Adam has said, a roadmap. And for our members, we've at last got clarity by having some dates at least tentatively put in the diary. We must hold to these, though, because those in the frontline sectors, retail, hospitality, leisure, events, and their supply chains, are running desperately short of cash. They've gone out as far as they can with all the support, and therefore we are very much looking to the Chancellor's budget on the 3rd of March to continue some of the support so we don't have any cliff edges that will enable the businesses that have survived so far just to go that extra mile and get over the hump so that we can start reopening them, as we say, from middle of April, and then through into May, and hopefully by the end of June, everything should start returning to normal. But that doesn't mean so that the businesses will get the cash in by then. As we know, late payments is an issue, And it often means that many businesses will get that payment not until June, July, or even August.
Yeah, and as you were intimating there, I mean, some businesses have had no support at all, have they, through the last 11, 12 months? So you need a wider definition of these support schemes.
That's right. The supply chain have not had any of the grants. They've not had any of the business rates holidays. And the other thing that ourselves and I'm sure Adam will also reflect on this is the upfront costs that businesses are still faced with, whether that be business rates. And we know that the review has been kicked back now till the autumn. We hope that gives the Treasury real opportunity to completely reform an out-of-date upfront tax that businesses struggle with. And of course, that's paid out before they make £1 of sale. But also national insurance contributions, as we saw with the first lockdown, being able to cover off the costs of national insurance for the employer and pension contributions meant that many more businesses were able to survive that first lockdown than they're able to do at the moment, which of course means that they're having to pay those costs just at the time when we need to get them over this next hump.
And Adam, cash reserves have been heavily eroded, haven't they? Debt has built up. What are you hearing from your members about firms' intentions to their staff who are currently on furlough?
Well, chambers of commerce around the country have been talking to businesses about their cash position. And indeed, all of our latest surveys show that about a quarter of firms don't have 3 months in cash to see them through. That's a pretty precarious position for many. And of course, there will be companies who will be looking right now at whether they can keep their employees on beyond the end of furlough, which is currently scheduled for the end of April. That's why we've said to the Chancellor, you need to set out a route map for financial support for businesses through the end of 2021. And in the case of furlough specifically, you need to get it at least through the summer, when we know that most businesses will have been able to start trading again and will be able to see how much demand they're able to generate. So the Chancellor has put a huge amount of money into supporting business over the last year. It would be a big mistake to see that £280 billion of investment somehow wasted because firms decide that they need to cut back and take people out of the workforce right at the end of this crisis. So the support's got to continue for long enough to get firms back on their feet.
All right, we've got to leave it there, I'm afraid. Adam Marshall and Mike Cherry, thanks for your time this morning. Now, much of the focus will be on hospitality. Pubs, bars and restaurants have been some of the hardest hit businesses, of course, closed or severely restricted for almost a year now. The earliest outdoor service can start is April the 12th and indoor service from May the 17th. Well, the Chief Executive of the British Beer and Pub Association, Emma McClarkin, and the Chief Executive of Young's Pubs and Hotels, Patrick Dardis, both join me this morning. Good to see you both this morning. Patrick, to you first. May the 17th for a full unlock for you.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was later than we were expecting. So it was a very anxious weekend, very nervous then on Monday morning. And yesterday afternoon, pretty disappointed. We were rather hoping that we would be treated alongside non-essential retail, which has been our ask from government and every time we have engaged with them. So disappointing, but we did get clarity and an end date of the 21st of June. So it does enable us to plan, but it's all eyes and ears now on the budget next week.
Yeah, I know you were disappointed, weren't you? Maybe you thought the writing was on the wall, because my understanding is a number of pub bosses pulled out of these consultation talks with the government over what you described as obvious lack of interest and respect for your sector.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was no issue with Minister Scully, but there was certainly a blockage beyond that. And a number of my colleagues called a meeting which I attended after the Scully meeting, and we agreed that we would not participate, and we would leave it to the likes of Emma to actually represent us going forward, purely because we were frustrated that we were not being listened to.
So no pressure on you, Emma. Let's bring you in here. I know that you've warned about not allowing the full reopening for the sector at the same time as non-essential retail. Well, that's what's happened. What percentage of pubs do you think won't reopen?
Was a non-starter for the industry. We will see 29,000 pubs unable to open viably with the outdoor opening. So the reality is that we're looking at 3 out of every 5 pubs not being able to open on the 12th of April. They will have an 83-day wait. It is like another lockdown has been announced for the majority of the pub sector, and that is why it is absolutely essential that they now provide us with an additional enhanced financial package in order to save the Great British Pub that is supporting all of our communities up and down this country and make sure we do not lose that asset.
Yeah, and of those which do reopen, Emma, and how many of them are going to be running on full staff?
None of them that will open and outdoor will be opening on full staff. I can guarantee you that. You're talking about 17% of our pub capacity being able to open. It is simply unsustainable to do that. It will leave us with a 1.5 billion hole in terms of revenue. So the reality is this is not an opening at all. It will be very difficult for businesses to operate outdoor, not only because of the weather, but also not understanding exactly what level of staff they do need to bring back in. That's why extending furlough is going to be absolutely essential, and actually providing the industry with full furlough would really help us keep those businesses going until we can open fully indoors and out.
And Patrick, is that the read across for your business? I'm hearing from Emma there that only 17% will be able to properly operate with that outdoor service. What does it look like within your portfolio of pubs?
We, like others, we're pretty desperate. We've had so much closure and so much disruption. We will open through desperation as many as we can, but it won't be that many. It'll probably be about 25% of our estate. And even then, those pubs that we do open will just not be viable. And we certainly won't be bringing back in more than 30-40% of the workforce for those specific pubs. But as I said earlier on, we are now desperately waiting on the Chancellor to support us more, extending furlough, VAT extension for a year, and business rates extensions. Every pub company throughout the land are burning millions and millions of pounds in every week that we're closed.
No curfews, though, and some of those other restrictions, which were a real hamper, weren't they, on business when you were allowed to be open. But does it make you wonder if it's been ditched now, whether it was ever necessary in the first place?
It definitely wasn't necessary in the first place. There was no evidence and no research done prior to it happening, and it was obvious for everybody when you actually ask everybody to leave at the same time to go home on public transport, and the substantial meal, the confusion that caused between the public, the police, local authorities. It was ill thought out, and at least going forward, certainly from the 17th of May, we won't have curfews or substantial meal issues to deal with.
And how many pubs, Patrick, have had to throw in the towel already?
Do you know, I think the worst thing of all in this pandemic is a lot of the pub companies can survive, struggling but survive. It's the individual owner-operators who have thrown everything at it. They've mortgaged their houses and they've got nothing left. And there will be thousands of pubs and of those individual owner-operators that can no longer survive. And this extra delay is probably the final nail in the coffin. So very disappointed for them.
And Emma, when you're making representations to the Chancellor as to what the industry needs, will you be looking for tailored support for the different types of business model within that? As we're just hearing from Patrick there, the ones who are most vulnerable are those individual owner-operated pubs.
Well, we have lost 5 pubs a day throughout 2020. That's over 2,000 pubs. And the reality of the situation is we cannot let that happen in 2021. We are staring in the face of business failure. Thousands of pubs could be lost if we do not get a financial package to see us through. And that will mean that we also need a longer term economic stimulus package put in place for the longer term to help us through a recovery. So we're going to need an extension of grants for the time being, full furlough to see us through, and then we will need business rates relief extended, VAT, a beer duty cut, and all of that together might just save the Great British Pub, but without it, we will lose thousands of jobs and many more pubs will close for good.
Yes, it's a whole arsenal, isn't it, of things that you need. What about calling for a level playing field on VAT cuts for alcohol and food?
Oh, we absolutely need to see this. You know, we had something called substantial meal that's now thankfully gone. That separated our food and our wet-led venues, those that focus on selling alcohol only. And the reality is that we need now something that also helps all pubs open and re-establish their trade again, digging their way out of this recovery. And so for our wet-led pubs, getting that VAT extension of 5% to also include alcoholic beverages, hugely important, as is that beer duty cut. We pay 11 times more beer tax than they do in Germany and Spain, and that has to come to an end, and we must support our British brewers.
All right, well, we'll see what the Chancellor has to say on the 3rd of March. Patrick Dardis and Emma McClarkin, good to talk to you this morning. Thank you. Now, the biggest economic concern of the pandemic is the impact on employment, with big increases in the number of people losing their jobs. Well, we've had new data for 3 months to December and January. It paints a mixed picture, with the unemployment rate ticking up, but more people on company payrolls and furlough keeping a lid on businesses. Well, the unemployment rate for October to December comes in at 5.1%. That, incidentally, is the highest level since late 2015 and up from 5% in the previous quarter. But the number of workers on payrolls across the UK, well, glimmer of hope there. It was up by 83,000 between January and February, and that is the second monthly increase in a row. Well, banks reporting season continues. Annual pre-tax profits at HSBC fell by 34% in 2020 to £6.2 billion. That was less than expected, though, and Europe's biggest bank said it will resume paying dividends. So good news for shareholders. The London headquartered bank makes the bulk of its profits in Asia and will increasingly pivot to deploy more capital in faster growing markets there. Now, still to come on Ian King Live, we're going to be taking a closer look at more of the sectors now planning to reopen later in the spring and what it means for them.
The wind was like pulling us out of that little room.
Mandatory evacuation, you must leave!
I'm Greg Milam, Sky's US correspondent here in Los Angeles. It is almost impossible to predict where these fires will go next. We aim to be the best and most trusted place for news. This gives you an idea of the strength of those winds, strong enough to bend and twist metal.
You trying to run me over, Sir Philip?
No, go away.
Look like it, sir. Will you respond to those who made accusations, Sir Philip?
Can you go away?
I've seen the dark side of America. We are standing on the supply line right into the heart of America's opioid crisis. I've seen heartbreaking human stories.
There was a river of blood coming out of the mosque. That's a scene that you don't forget.
Christchurch has been changed forever by what happened here.
Am I shiny? We've spoken a lot about hospitality as it is such a huge slice of the UK economy, but there are many sectors either closed down or under severe restrictions at the moment, all of which are now looking forward to reopening later in the spring and the summer. Well, we can speak to some of them now. Joining us on the show, we have Millie Kendall, Chief Executive of the British Beauty Council. We've got Catherine Jacob, CEO of British cinema advertising company Pearl & Dean, and Claudia Douglas, Managing Director of the events production company Innovision. Very good morning to all three of you ladies. Millie, let's start with you. What do you make of the timetable? Because of the three of you, you get to properly open first.
I'm delighted. I mean, it's welcome news, given the sort of staggered and delayed reopening we had in the summer of last year. So I'm delighted with the news, but we do need financial support to get our sector open properly and to recover, because it's been a tough year.
Yeah, and just quickly, how will businesses be prepared for reopening then?
Oh yeah, I think we will be prepared. It's just that there are costs that we need to incur to get our doors open. So we need to obviously buy stock. We need to, get the lights on, put the lights on. We need to make sure we've got adequate PPE, bring people back off furlough. There's a lot to do. And I know it seems like a long way off, but it's quite a short amount of time. So there's a lot of preparation needed.
Catherine, let's bring you in here. Outdoor cinemas from April, hopefully. Indoor from May. How do you feel about that?
Delighted, because it's been a long time. There's been a lot of films that have been moved back and back and back. And we know, talking to our cinema partners, that people are missing going out. I mean, frankly, we've watched everything there is to watch on television now. We just need to get out to our local everyman or our local showcase and just be taken out of ourselves for a bit.
I suppose it's important to remember, though, that these dates are guidelines, aren't they? They're sort of earliest dates possible, and things can change.
Yes, but across the world, there's no evidence of anybody picking up COVID in a cinema. They've been absolutely rigorous in their safety procedures, and we know that cinema is a safe place to go. You can change when people come in and come out. You can stagger that. Social distancing is really easy to enforce. They're well ventilated. So yeah, it's incredibly safe.
You're sounding very hopeful indeed. Claudia, let's bring you in here, because large events, the last to come back on stream. And I'm just wondering whether you've got a pipeline of events that you're hoping to get away this summer.
Yes, definitely. I mean, we're delighted with the news as well. Planning wise, although it does feel like a long way off for us, as with other colleagues, it's quite a short lead time, and we'd normally see a 6 to 12 month cycle for a large scale public event. Having said that, we're a very resilient industry. There's a lot of people who are waiting for that work to begin. I have no doubt we'll mobilise pretty quickly. People are craving that opportunity to meet and come together, and I think where there's a will, there's a way. And I like the phased approach. I think it's sensible. It's so welcome, and as long as we get that business support, which we're hoping for next week, potentially, we can bring back the supply chain, the freelancers, and all of the smaller organisations that we would normally.
Ogome, Todova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Prum Prum Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Centre of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do that?
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. Of darkness.
So what did that?
Myself and the world will adjust. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on the CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Listen to Reverend David Peterson. And you have to listen. Your spouse can leave you. Your friends can leave you. Your family can leave you. Your next door neighbor will talk about you. But God will never leave you. This and every Wednesday from 7:30 p.m. on the Led by the Spirit program on Starr Radio UK.
Hello, lovely listeners. Tune in to the renewed show with Charlotte. Make it a date to listen to me this and every Thursday at 5 p.m. on Starr Radio UK. Tune in to an hour of power, an hour of encouragement, an hour to inspire you to stay positive and strong in this season. See you there and listen.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour show is your best source into the property industry.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
During the time of lockdown, we recognise that young people among us could be vulnerable and subject to abuse. This is why Amicare, an organisation that advocates against child sexual abuse, is here to assist the vulnerable amongst us. We have lined up an exciting and educative programmes that can be of help to you. Please check out our website on www.amacares.org for updates of programme. Enjoy a live chat with our team members for advice. Our online counsellors are also available to advise you and signpost you to the right governmental departments. You can reach us on 033 01 33 2415 or email us at info@amacares.org. Confidentiality is key. Thank you.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Prampram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Prampram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184-994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
In your car,
at work,
at home,
on your smartphone,
broadcasting live online, all around the world.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Heart is aching. Smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you find that life is still worthwhile. If you just smile. Hey, this is Archie and you are listening to Starr.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Are you ready?
This is the morning show with Archie. This is the morning show with Archie. This is the morning show with Archie.
It's beautiful.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Oh yes, hello, good morning and welcome to Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Today, the 23rd of February, the year 2021. Time now, 10:36 from the heart of London. And it's the Starr Radio UK morning show. Of course, I am.
This is the morning show with Archie.
But I'm saying good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth. Those of you on other planets as well, we salute you all and we welcome you to the show. Let me say special good morning to Godfrey Takumo. Godfrey, wherever you are, morning to you. Like I said, the message, get in touch with us, inbox us, and we'll get back to you. But a special good morning goes to my colleagues, Mr. Frank Davids, Mr. Olaimi Koiki. Will be part of the program this morning. To Felix all the way in Aberdeen, massive good morning to you. Mr. Kofi Ali Abdul Yakin, good morning, sir. Mr. Malik Dramani Mahama, good morning. Mr. David Kluche, I salute you, sir. To Dr. Martin. Or hear about David, or hear about Kofi say. So, Champion Point, till it's Mamu Yinache.
for the Haven all the way in Minnesota. Abiosei. Mr. John Buama in Texas. I hope that you were not frozen. Mr. Davidson, good morning to you all. Trust you're all doing very, very good. Okie dokie. To all and sundry, we salute you all and we welcome you to this edition of the morning show.
Are you ready?
Okay, so from now until 1 o'clock, this is how the program is going to be going. If it's the first time of listening to us, this is how it goes. Now, we'll bring you the quote for the day. The weather forecast will follow suit, then the travel updates. We'll go on from there, looking at the stories making the rounds. At 12 o'clock, the lines will be open for you to add your voice to the discussions. At 1 o'clock, we pull the curtains down for the end of the program. So wherever you are, you get in touch. If before the lines open at 12 o'clock, you are that desperate, you want to share something with us, for free, you can text or WhatsApp us. Our text or WhatsApp number is 075396617744, and I promise you I'll read it. Or post on our Facebook page, and we will make sure we read them as well. So once again, I say welcome to the program. Well, as you know, the program will not be void of music. We're going to be having lots of music intermittently to make your day. So share the program with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages as well. I beseech you, brethren. Welcome. To our presenters on Starr Radio UK. Empress Regina, KB Bosman, Vicky Newton, and I said, what? Sawara Koto, good morning to you. Okay. Now, the quote for today says, focus on others and be open to different perspectives. Focus on others and be open to different perspectives. It's not only you who knows it all. Someone else knows something that you also don't know. Someone is better in one way that you might not be. So no one has got it all. So be open to different perspectives. Good morning. It is Starr Radio UK. Now moving on straight to the weather front. Let me tell you what is happening on the weather front. It looks like today, those of you in the southeast of the UK and London, to be specific, going to be enjoying some nice sunny weather. Now, what are the details of it? This afternoon, it will continue mostly dry and quite breezy. It will be largely cloudy, but cloud may break up in places to reveal some sunny spells, staying mild. This evening and overnight, it will continue dry but often cloudy. The winds will also remain blustery, and it will be a mild night. Now the temperature is going to be 14 degrees, the lower is going to be 11 degrees. That's how mild it's going to be. Now UV level is going to be low, pollution is going to be low. Sunset 17:30, sunrise for tomorrow morning 6:59 hours. That brings us to the end of the weather forecast for you. Starr Radio UK, the station, the morning show, the program. Of course, I am Archie. We're going to take a quick break. We come back and I bring you the travel updates. So stay tuned, don't you go away. Starr Radio UK.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Okay. So keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads. I will keep you navigated. I promise I'll on the Starr Radio UK travel update that comes away every weekday from 10:40. It's now 10:43 from the House of London. So what's happening on your travel this morning? Now on the Hammersmith and City line, there are severe delays. I will bring you details of it. My apologies. The severe delays due to train cancellation tickets are being accepted on local buses. And as you know, Waterloo and City lines are still planned closures. That aside, all the underground lines are in good service. Now, for London Overground, as you know, until 26th of February, that is this Friday, late evening weekday trains at 2303, 2333, and 00 for the 8 hours from Liverpool Street to Chingford will not run due to staff shortage. So check before you leave. Check it out. Now moving on to the, as you know, the river bus is all suspended apart from the Woolwich ferry that is got good service. So check before you leave as well. On the National Rail this morning, Avanti West Coast have got severe delays. Cross Country Special Service, First Trans Pennine Express, severe delays. Great Western Railway Special Service, Island Line Special Service, Northern Rail, severe delays. ScotRail, minor delays. That aside, all the others, good service. Now moving on finally to the major roads in London. On the major roads in London, A3 has got closures, A4 closures, A41 closures, Central London Red routes closures, A23 serious delays, A316 serious delays there as well. Now on the A23, the details are as follows. Southbound traffic is slow on approach with queues to Old Lodge Lane. Northbound traffic is slow with queues to Lion Green Road. So please expect delays on that one. But on that note, let me say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth. Enjoy your commute for today. But you know what? Continue to keep those eyes on the roads.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. The of darkness.
So what did that
myself and the world will adjust. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on the CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Welcome back to the program. It is Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, this afternoon, exactly at 1:30, we'll be having BB Clement on BB Means Business. And today, she's going to be looking at how to use webinar as a marketing tool. How to use webinar as a marketing tool. We live in a digital world. We live in these restrictions that have gone on for almost a year now. You know that the only way, some people say the only way is Essex, but the only way is via virtual means, and therefore people are using all virtual means or tools that can be used in the virtual world to reach out to people. Now, interestingly, today she'll be teaching you how to use webinar as a marketing tool. How do you reach out? How do you able to sell yourself to others? Make sure you make a date. If you are a business entity, you are a prospective business entity, whatever. Get in touch or get involved with that program. That is exactly at 1:30 with BB Clement on BB Means Business. All right then. So let's have a look at some of the stories making the rounds before we take another long musical break. My apologies.
Are you ready?
10:48 the time.
I love that.
Your favorite Afro-Caribbean radio station.
Star Radio UK, the Tuesday edition of the morning show. Everybody has to play a part in lockdown easing. That's what the Prime Minister in summary said. But questions have been asked. It is too soon to say when social distancing rules will be relaxed, the Health Secretary says. So it is too soon. Though the Prime Minister was lining few things up, giving some dates here and there in June where all the restrictions will be, but when the restrictions are eased totally, does that mean that we don't need to put on masks, we don't need to social distance? I know that means we can go anywhere, but do we have to still keep our distances and still have our masks on? Well, we'll be having a detailed look at those stories. That announcement yesterday by the Prime Minister, holiday bookings surge on lockdown exit plans. The travel agencies and airlines say website traffic jumped following Boris Johnson's announcement. I can tell you, people can't wait to get out of the country. Oh my goodness. And some sad story coming out from the lockdown. The young have bore the brunt of job losses amid COVID crisis. The UK unemployment has risen to 5.1%. Official figures show weight under 25s hit the hardest. Story, Nicola Sturgeon is to announce roadmap for easing lockdown sometime today. The easing of restrictions in Scotland will be driven by data rather than by hard and fast dates. Now, the Federation of Small Businesses Wales calls for more details about the rules for lifting lockdown in Wales. Star Radio UK. So, did the presentation by the Prime Minister give you any hope? Because all limits on social contacts are to be lifted by the 21st of June, depending on the data. Star Radio UK. So the countdown is on. Midsummer Dream and 118 days until freedom. This is already UK. Okay, now, another story is making the round. A heartbreaking milestone. President Joe Biden addresses the nation as the U.S. mourns 500,000 people lost to COVID-19. Playing in the background, No Tribe, and God is good. Nyamiye. As well, NASA shows dramatic video of Mars rovers landing. The Perseverance robot is seen touching down on the red planet in a well of dust and grit. It was shared yesterday. It's quite interesting. How windy is it? Starr in the UK. Trump has been ordered to hand tax returns to prosecutors. Is it going to budge this time around? Or is he just going to throw his weight around and say, no way, I'm not doing that? Well, he said he's a smart guy. That's why he doesn't pay much tax like others do. It's not that it's because he's just smart. He's smart. Smarter than you are, you know? And Canada says China's treatment of Uyghurs as genocide. Now, Canada is just the second country after the U.S. to recognize China's action in Xinjiang as genocide. If you claim that is genocide or whatever, why would they care? Sanctions? When they put sanctions on them, they put sanctions on you. What do they care? Well, that's why Kofi Ali will always say that you see a big elephant and a small ant trying to throw his weight around. The elephant will just step on it. Now, what do you think about that? That's why he talks for the unification of the sub-Saharan Africa, and that is the West African area. That together, we'll be stronger. Okay. Now, looking at some other stories as well. The U.S. have arrested El Chapo's wife over drug trafficking. Coronel Apuro's arrest comes 2 years after her husband was convicted in the U.S. over his cartel. And then sad one. Jamaican reggae artist U-Roy dies age 78. Pioneering Jamaican reggae artist U-Roy has died at the age of 78. His partner has confirmed. Let me say good morning to Mr. Dave West. I remember he sent me that information 4 days ago. Dave, morning to you. He's a reggae maestro. Brings you the best in the reggae tunes. Starr Radio UK. 4 minutes to the top of the hour. The morning show of the program. Stay tuned. Facebook have reversed its ban on news in Australia. Facebook will reverse a decision to block access to news content, Australia's government has said. Still in the world front. Now, interestingly, in Nigeria, the COVID rate there is said to be higher than it has been reported. And this is something that we sat here and said several times. The story says findings of a survey in Nigeria suggest that rates of infection from COVID-19 in the country are much higher than previously reported. The results indicate that 1 in 5 of those tested in the states of Lagos, Enugu, and Nasarawa have been infected. In the country's largest city, Lagos, as many as 4 million people could have contracted the disease, although the official total is currently 54,000. The survey conducted in September and October by the Nigerian Center for Disease Control and CDC and the Institute for Medical Research. The head of the NCDC said the results of the survey made Nigeria's vaccination efforts even more important. More than 1,800 people have died in the country from COVID-19. Communities where people die and the next moment they are buried and all the things that happen with it. Do you think they'll have the right statistics? I mean, we don't know how many people exactly are even in the country. On the African continent, that's what happens. Statistics are very poor. What do you think about that? It is Starr Radio UK. UN peacekeepers from Tigray refuse to return home. Why not? Oman suspends arrival from 8 African countries. Namely, out of the 8, they are African countries. They include Sudan, South Africa, Nigeria, Tanzania, Ghana. Ethiopia, Guinea, and Sierra Leone. So don't dare travel to Oman. You might not be allowed in. Ali will be upset about this story. Colonial history has led to English, French, or Portuguese dominating education on the workplace across large number of African countries, but many want this to change. So maybe in Ghana they might be speaking which language? People say they don't want the colonial masters what language. They don't want to speak that any longer. What do you think about all that? It is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bringing the time now to 11 o'clock. Students were injured in Cameroon's southwest region after a stampede broke out following a rumored COVID-19 vaccination campaign. The Guardian Post said the students from the city of Kumba are currently being observed by medics, the newspaper adds. The injuries were recorded in the wake of stampede as many struggle to escape a rumored COVID-19 vaccination campaign. And as when they heard that, they said, hey, they said they are going to vaccinate you. The all-peak race, and there was a stampede, and students have been injured on the front. It is Starr Radio UK. Now in Nigeria government to lift 100 million Nigerians out of poverty with gas expansion program. Are they going to be doing that? We've had this oil for all this while. Now maybe a gas expansion is what is going to lift people from poverty. Maybe everybody's going to be having gas in their homes, and therefore there's no need to. I mean, maybe it will come at a cheaper price. Maybe. As I continue to say, maybe. But you look at our buildings and how our setup is like. It's not been set up for such things. Maybe that's why they're not saying the whole of Nigeria. About 100 million Nigerians will be lifted out of poverty with gas expansion program. I'll be coming to you to bring you more details on that front. Now Ghanaians have been talking about gay. But a journalist has come out to say that he is gay. Oh wow. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. We are going to be taking a break. We come back, I'll bring you some lovely tune, and then we'll look at the details of the stories. But before we do so, you have no rights in Ghana. Ayariga to LGBT people. Talk to your doctor if you've doubt over COVID vaccine. Immunologists have said and Akufo-Addo will never legalize LGBTQI has said. Why are they? Why Ghanaians added the QI? What is the QI for? Is a question intriguing. Okay, across the line, Ayeni apologizes over predetermined agenda comment. This and a lot more going to be coming your way. Stay tuned. Don't you go away. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Prampram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Prampram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. Of darkness.
So what did that
Myself and the world will adjust. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on the CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
This is Starr Radio UK.
In your car,
at work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
Broadcasting live online. Are you ready to turn it up?
This is Starr Radio UK.
You are listening to Starr Radio Morning Show. Archie on Starr Radio. Nobody does it better.
This is Starr Radio UK. This is Starr Radio UK.
Broadcasting live online.
Your favorite Afro-Caribbean radio station in the UK. Starr Radio. Radio for the people, by the
Yes, it is Starr Radio UK. One of the oldies from Amache Day. Sufra Winyame, that's Call on Your Girl. Got some of the stories that are making the rounds. You look at them in detail and you ask yourself, oh, people have to call on their God to rescue them. But share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages as well. Whilst I pilot you through all the highs and lows of the news that has made the rounds, I'll be headed by Mr. Frank Davis during the course of the program. But stay tuned, let me bring you some details. Now, what will make an acting DCE or a DCE to fire catering staff to cause children to starve? Whilst there is a unilateral dismissal suffered by the caterer comes after the office of the president had warned all acting local government appointees not to take any decisions involving a policy issue. A letter dated the 11th of January 2021 and signed by the Chief of Staff Akusia Frema Osei Opare that was sent to all acting government officials or local government appointees not to take any actions of the sort. But about 600 people, children, went hungry for 4 days after she stormed Yukurugu Primary School to throw out the caterer Ramatu Yaru from the public school and threatened that she will not be paid for her services even if she continued to feed the children. The acting district chief executive DC of the Boko West District, Victoria Ayamba, is reported to have unilaterally sacked an accredited Ghana school feeding program caterer and reallocated her contract to the wife of a former member of parliament for Zibila Grace Husseini Adongo. Well, you listen to that piece or that story, and you ask yourself the question. Now that this lady has broken, or this MC, she is a lady, Victoria Ayamba, has broken this rule. What happens to her? It's going to be one of those days. But for kids to go 4 days, they come to school and the parents expect that they will have something to eat. You sack somebody, then immediately you have to make sure that the one who is going to take the place of that person is available, because it's an essential job. But she didn't do so. She sacked and said, okay, I'm replacing you with this person. However, the person had not put everything together to be able to give these children the food that they so much depend on. That's why some of the children have to come to school or do come to school. Besides, the GSFP's National Secretariat came up with a press statement last month in strong disapproval of attempts by some assemblies to recruit new GSFP caterers, and it directed all caterers already at work to remain at their various posts. But a few days after the GSFP had issued the cautionary statement, some unfamiliar faces emerged on the premises of the Yikurugu primary school to prepare food for the children, the school children, while the familiar caterers who had been feeding the people since 2018 was busy at the school kitchen. Authorities at the school told the strangers they were unaware of their engagement and turned them away. However, the following morning, the strangers returned to the school with 5 men described as thugs. The alleged thugs threw water on a fire the accredited caretaker has set to prepare a meal for the school children and scattered the kitchen utensils being used. And when you look at stories like that, that's why people think that we live in some jungle where laws do not work. It's the survival of the fittest. If you got a muzzle, then you can punch somebody out of your way and do whatever thing that you want to do. But what do you think about all that? It is Starr Radio UK. We'll come in to look at that. What do you think should be the punishment for this lady? I don't know when people are like that. I don't know whether to call them ladies or whatever it is. Now, so on the contempt comment made by Ayini, the Supreme Court has directed former Deputy Attorney General Dominic Ayini to go before the media and retract the contempt statement he made about the court. In the court, he said, "We don't want anything from him. We should just go back. He should just go back to the media and retract the statement that he made." The Chief Executive, the Chief Justice, my apologies, on behalf of the bench during the contempt hearing on Monday said. Okay, dokie. It is Starr Radio UK. Maybe this time around the judges have done something different from what people have been castigating them for. Okay, Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. 11:15 the time. It is the Tuesday edition of the morning show. Like I announced earlier on, exactly at 1:30 this afternoon, we'll be having a BB Clement on BB Means Business, and today she'll be looking at this afternoon she'll be looking at how to use webinar as a marketing tool. Using webinar as a marketing tool. How do you do that in these times? It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, so let's start from home here. Let me say thank you very much to Mr. Amachi. Is it now Nana or something of the sort? Yes. Welcome to the program. Now everybody has to play part in lockdown easing. Everybody has to play a part in lockdown easing. That's the information that is going on. Everybody has to play their part to meet the dates for England's lockdown to be eased, Matt Hancock said. It is currently too early to say how long social distancing will be in place, the Health Secretary said. The aim is for measures like masks to become a matter of personal responsibility rather than law in the future. Now, Boris Johnson has outlined a strategy that could see restrictions lifted by the 21st of June if strict conditions are met. Now, today, Nicola Sturgeon is to reveal plans to ease restrictions in Scotland. She said Scotland will return to tiered system, meaning different parts of the country could be under different rules. Okay. Now, the story says the Health Secretary this morning said that everybody plays their part to make sure that we hit these dates and get out of this as soon as possibly can safely. Now, Mr. Hancock said he wanted measures to become a matter of personal responsibility and social norms that could see, for example, people choosing to wear masks on public transport. Now, people should be able to hug friends and family from the 17th of May. Now, when the most vulnerable groups have had 2 coronavirus vaccine jabs, he said. Mr. Hancock said, eradicating COVID-19 completely is not going to be possible, and that everyone will have to learn to live with it, as we do with flu. Now, there is already evidence that the vaccines were working, with the number of deaths coming down really sharply, he added. Now, meanwhile, the latest figure from the Office of the National Statistics show coronavirus deaths continued to decline. In the week of the 12th of February, there were 17,136 deaths registered in the UK, down by 1,710 on the previous week. Deaths are still running above usual levels for this time of year. However, they were 26% higher than the average for the same week over the past 5 years. So, these are the key dates that the Prime Minister put across for lockdown easing. Now, the first one, schools are going to be open on the 8th of March. Now, outdoor after school sports allowed. Okay, 2 people allowed to sit together outdoors, and care home residents allowed 1 regular visit. Now, should that regular visitor, is it going to be vaccinated? Is it going to be tested? What is going to happen on that front? On the 29th of March, we're going to see 6 people or 2 households allowed to meet outdoors. Outdoors. And then we're going to commence outdoor sports facilities. Organizing sports or organized sports are going to be allowed on that from the 29th of March. And the same 29th of March, we're going to have travel outside local area being allowed. At the moment, it's supposed to be essential travels only. On the 12th of April, non-essential retail and personal care will open. And then hospitality outdoors open. Indoor leisure, example, gyms, swimming pools will also be open. And then self-contained holiday accommodation will also be open. So if you decide to go on holidays, you'll be using a caravan or anything of the sort, you will be allowed on that front. Now, the 17th of May, outdoors, most social contact rules will be lifted. Now, 6 people or 2 households can meet indoors. And indoor hospitality and hotels will reopen on the 17th of May. Then the step 4, that is 21st of June, all legal limits on social contact will be removed, and hope to reopen final closed sectors of the economy. In the first step, the Prime Minister roadmap will publish. We'll see all pupils in England going to school. So in 2 weeks' time, all the children will be going back to school. Now, progressing along the schedule will depend on 4 tests: the success of the vaccine rollout, evidence of vaccine efficacy, and assessment of new variant, and keeping infection rates below a level that could put unsustainable pressure on the NHS. Now, there will be a gap at least 5 weeks between each of the plans. Subsequent steps to allow for the impact of changes on infection rates and hospital admission to be assessed. Now, each stage in the easing of restrictions should be confirmed 1 week beforehand, said Mr. Hancock. This means there will be 4 weeks to assess the impact of its previous relaxation. So that is a roadmap out of this lockdown and this restriction. However, the Labour leader, Sir Keir Starmer, welcomed the plan but said certainty was needed over the future of the government furlough scheme for both businesses and workers. Now, Labour Shadow Chancellor Annalise Dodds also said this morning that without clarity on business support like VAT reduction and the business rate holidays, many businesses are simply throwing in the towel now, and we cannot afford in the UK when we've already had record redundancies. The Conservative MP Steve Baker, Deputy Chair of the COVID Recovery Group of Tory lockdown skeptics, said the pace of the change will be a hammer blow to industries such as aviation, hospitality, and the arts. They are the ones who want things to be done like right now. Let us all go back. Let those who will die, let them die. Let those who will live, let them live. Well, so the 4 conditions for the lockdown easing: first of all, it's a vaccine program that's supposed to continue to go as planned, and then the second one, evidence shows vaccines are reducing deaths and numbers requiring hospital treatment, and the third one, infection rates do not surge in hospital admissions, and the fourth one, new variant do not change the risk of lifting restrictions. So what do? Do we all stay at home? Do we all, I mean, at the moment we know that we are still supposed to stay at home. It's the first batch will be allowed out the school children on the 8th, and then it will be continuing and to be continuing. But what do you think about all that? It is Starr Radio UK, 11:24 the time, the morning show, the program. I'm not here by myself. I'm here with my colleague and co-presenter, Mr. Frank Davis, who is also in the house, ready to fire, because I think he's happy about the restrictions that that's going to be eased, so that he can be going gallivanting. I think he wants to go traveling.
Actually, the restrictions are going to be eased. We are happy, but the but so far so good. Let's go. I am happy because the children will go to school. They've missed a lot, and that's the most important thing for me.
But how are you?
I'm good, Archie. I am doing very, very well.
Okay.
You know, once we are alive and we come out, we're able to step out in this COVID era. When you see a new day, it's a blessing.
Yes, you have to go and celebrate. You have to party because you've seen a new day. Good. So, how did you take the whole of the presentation by the Prime Minister holistically? The dates that have been set, the gaps between each stage, that is 5 weeks apart.
They've just been very, very careful. What do you call it? They've been positive, but again very, very careful. Now easing out basically facing it out this way, in my view, will allow them to monitor the various phases instead of just opening everything and then out of control. Now, if for instance you allow the schools to go, you monitor it for 1 week. If you look at the time the schools are going, the time the new phase kicks in, that's about 2 weeks to 3 weeks. The schools are going on the 8th. The next phase is 29th. Now what you're looking at about 2-3 weeks interval would have allowed them again to look at whether the infection, the rate of infection is transmission.
Pointers that
if it is increasing, it will tell them no. On the 9th or on that 29th, let's put a break. Let's put breaks on that. And actually, I think it's the best strategy to go for instead of just opening. I mean, the whole country at a go, and then you become confused which areas are actually increasing the issue.
Nicola Sturgeon is coming out sometime this afternoon to also announce what is going to go on in Scotland. But she is of the view that she's going back to the tier system because she reckons that there are some communities that might still have a bit higher, so that they will be put different. Do you think the tier system should have worked? Because yesterday, I think I got home and my wife showed me some message that has come in that have somewhere in Croydon, is it Addington or some area, there's been a variant that has been found, and therefore they are saying that people should go out to be tested. People should be tested to
and that's a different variant
altogether. So I mean, should we go into a tier system like that so that we look at the communities and put this one there, put this one?
Yeah, that is
in the line. Let them be free.
Actually, you see, if you take a city like London, it is very, very difficult to want to lock down a bit of suburbs or council areas. The reason being that, look, if I have Addington variant, call it that way, and I might not even know I have it, and I jump on the tram, I might have landed in Reading, I might have landed in Beckenham, I might have landed in Wimbledon. From there, I jump on District Line. Before you realize, I'm at Barking. So if you find a variant here, and you do not know that I've traveled from here to Barking, before you realize it's become at the Barking variant.
The Barking variant that came from.
So it becomes the way, because of the way we commute, it's very, very difficult. If you go to countrysides, where you know we have inter-village, intercity village, those bus systems, it's a bit of manageable. But a city like London, it is going to be very, very difficult, especially when you've not restricted movement within the city. You are able to do that. For instance, Luton, London, when you're taking towns and cities, okay, we're locking down London, no one is going out like the way we have now. But if you are going to have intercity lockdown, it is very, very, I see it, it's going to be very difficult.
Especially when you have the public transport moving around.
Extremely difficult. Look, you take bus 68, let's take bus 468, that fly from South Reading. You jump on that bus over there, you're going to be dropping people off.
Where does it go? Is it
Elephant and Castle? You're going to be dropping people off. You're looking at Taunton Heath, West Reading, West Norwood, going all the way through what they call Denmark Hill, Elephant and Castle, Camberwell, all right down to London Bridge. Okay, I jump off London Bridge and I take bus 149. You know 149?
Where does it go?
Straight to Addington.
Oh wow!
Straight to Edmonton. So
okay.
2 buses, one from here to London Bridge. I could walk through Barrow, or just jump on another 333 or any bus to London Bridge. I jump on another bus all the way to Edmonton. So I might have crisscrossed the whole city, almost the whole city by 2 or 3 buses, or probably come to Credit, jump on overground, straight to Seven Sisters.
So do you think that maybe, looking at the roadmap that government has put across, now maybe because when we have the children going back to school and there's going to be movement, should there be testing at the entrances of the various, like you go to the train station, there should be a testing there or something?
The other thing is that you carry the virus, takes a few days. It's not like the testing is able to determine
whether now
the virus is in contact with me and therefore. But it's okay if we're able to test those who are basically the virus might have resided in them for a few days, and they're at a point where they can spread it. We might be able to self-isolate them. What I think we should do, again, testing is good. Testing can help isolate and identify people. But I think we should encourage parents also to monitor kids before they go to school. So you monitor when they go to school, you monitor when they come to school. And I would have wished that by now as parents we should develop questionnaires, like pointers. Before your kid goes out in the morning, there are certain observations that you should make sure you are satisfied with. What's the temperature? And most families do have thermometers. What's the temperature? And when they come back from school again, the bit of interrogation. To find out they might spot someone sick, and that should tell you that, look, if you have corona soup, start administering it. It's necessary precaution. It's necessary precaution. But test is good, but it's good. Test cannot 100% solve the issue.
Now by the 21st of June, if everything takes along nicely, then all the restrictions will be removed. People can move around. You can do whatever. But they're saying that they want not to make putting on mask legal sometimes. So you can just not to be a crime if somebody is not putting on a mask. Now, do you think that are we going to be seeing people now having that culture, having a mask on public transport and moving around?
Yeah, actually, if you look at Asia countries, especially the Chinese, the Koreans, it's part of their culture. I mean, when you see them traveling anywhere, a lot of them put on masks. Sometimes people, I mean, we argued probably because of
the pollution. There was pollution in that area.
The pollution in that area, the industry, the way they work, and therefore they kind of used to it. What I'm beginning to, my gut instinct is that this is going to be something that's going to live with us for a long time. That people are going to get to a point where they put on masks. I mean, irrespective of what. There are certain habits that we've developed now that will live with us for a long time. People coming back home and washing their hands. And sometimes, actually, you just have to wash your hands to know the amount of dirt that probably you didn't know before. You didn't know before. You used to eat peanuts and other things. You now observe it and like, oh, I was putting germs in. Probably coronavirus has come to prolong people's life. Probably the number of germs that will go into our systems are going to be reduced as a direct result of but our lives are not going to be the same again. We entering, there's not going to be anything that we knew before called normality. There's going to be a new normal, so to call it. There's certain things that will change.
Forever. You can't go back. Now, interestingly, when the announcement, the Prime Minister made the announcement, holiday booking surged on lockdown exit plan. Now, my question has been, now, are people that desperate that want to go out?
And if you're someone who trade in stocks, this time will be the best time to start buying shares in aviation industry, aviation holiday industry, because and cruise, any company that is listed as cruise stocks, what they call the list, they are cruise, they are into aviation, they are into holiday, they are into what do you call it, transport, those things. That industry is going to boom for the it's going to boom at least for the next 12 months.
People are going to jump out like
Airbnb, those all those companies. Their industries are
self-catering.
So if you're someone in stock, this is a time to be hunting for some of those equities to purchase. But actually, I mean, people is a culture. I mean, unlike some of us who are happy doing our holidays in our bedroom and probably just taking a walk or somewhere. There are people who cannot stay within. I told you someone define poverty as their inability to go on holiday for 3 consecutive. So if you are not able to go on holiday this year, next year you are not able to.
You are poor.
Or even you didn't go much during the Easter break, you are not able to go during the long summer break, and the next year you are not able to go. For you, your definition of poverty has arrived. That is what it means. It means all of us we are poor because we not travel. David, whatever you are saying, that was my friend David. That was his not David Kluche.
I know.
That was his definition of what poverty really is. So actually, people are eager to go. People are desperate to travel out. I mean, the news is good for them.
Okay. Well, younger workers have borne the brunt of the job losses during the COVID crisis. Official figures show as the unemployment rate continues to rise. The UK jobless rate rose by 5.1% in the 3 months to December. The Office of National Statistics has said the highest for almost 5 years. We know it's because of the COVID. Now, how do we bring these young folks back on? Because most of them are not experienced. Okay, and we have the old folks who are experienced, who have been on, and it's going to take a bit of time to get them back
on. The government will need to step up with this. The apprenticeship scheme has to be stepped up. We need to see the job center revamped to be able to encourage people to take on jobs. Companies will need to be flexible, and government will need to work closely with the companies that take on inexperienced people to train them on to be able to give them certain incentives. There are certain incentives that were announced some point getting to the end of last year.
Yeah.
About those who will take new people on and other things.
Yeah.
I think government in its next month's budget will have to look. The chancellor will need to look at how do we expand that or sustain it, so that as we actually coming out of the COVID and that drive to regrow the economy again, we will give incentives to people who might be, or companies who might be interested in hiring new, inexperienced people. I think that will be one way to bring the young ones on board. Yeah.
Okay, listen, it's Star Radio UK, 11:38 the time, the morning show, the program. Star Radio UK, the station. With me in the studio, Mr. Frank Davis. I am Archie. Now, interesting videos that was shown from the Perseverance rovers dramatic Mars landing. I mean, videos with sound, and you're like, whoa. I know back I think some years back, is it 5-10 years back, there was, I mean, the plans that they were going to get some people to fly them. It's going to be a one-way ticket. They're going to get them, fly them to Mars. Then I was asking myself, so if they go, how are they going to survive? Are they going to give them some food there, and then they know that after that they're going to die and stuff like that? But when you look at the videos and you look at what scientists are trying to discover, how long this some of these planets have been in existence, and as to whether it's habitable. Do you think that maybe in another 100 years we'll be going on holidays in some other planet?
Even now they are talking about holidays, it's about 100,000, 200,000.
100,000. They fly you to the orbit.
It's less than 10 minutes.
Yeah. Ooh, 100,000. Shoot.
What Virgin Galactica.
Galactica. Yeah.
Actually, science is beautiful. We're still beginning. It's just like the way individuals we find it, we cannot 100% say we understand ourselves completely. We might know much about ourselves, but sometimes it's because of that vacuum that we don't know ourselves completely. That's why we react in certain ways sometimes, and we sit by say, with the benefit of hindsight, we should have done that, or we should have done that. The same vein, if you look at the planet, there was a time we were told that the earth was flat. Scientists, I mean, went on it, did whatever they could to convince the world that it was flat. Then came a time when they said it's now spherical. Are we going to get to a point where they now tell us it's hexagonal? We do not know. We're still discovering a lot about this planet. And even a scientist tells you that they know everything about the planet, they know everything up to the point that the knowledge that we have now. And it is up to the scientists to be able to look at how they push the boundaries and be able to acquire more insight into how the whole planet, the hemisphere, is formed. And I support such explorations. I mean, it might be a huge amount of money that is being spent on certain projects that someone in my village will say, if you give me a fraction of that, I'll transform my country, I'll transform my village. Someone will say that. But whilst you're doing that, our goal is to look at, well, did we ever existed or lived in another planet before we were brought here? We didn't know. And if we see the catastrophes that are going, flooding and other things, is it going to get to a point where the Noah issue will come again? And if we cannot have
a big boat to carry us all,
we are even more than a boat. Can we have people who are ready to escape and then repopulate the land when it's dried? You never can tell. You never can. you never can tell. But actually, it's good because the advances in science is what has helped us know what to do, what not to do. And I saw those images and I was happy. I mean, because at least they're working, they're progressing. You know, those scientists who have been to schools, studied all those things, today will be proud of themselves that look, our knowledge is expanding. Our at least jobs are being created for, because it's jobs. It's jobs that have been created for them as well. You know, professors will now go, they have a subject, people are going to write more books. I mean, business is going to be generated out of this, billions of it. Pamphlet, you know, we used to believe in this, but now you're going to see a lot of professors giving theories, more lectures about it's business.
Do you think that African scientists in that front are doing? I think the AU had something, a body like that. Did they have anything to do with space and stuff like that?
Actually, you asking the impossible. Actually, I do know that they were trying to have something called what is the West African
Space Center?
Yeah, something or Africa. I'm not quite sure, but I think those discussions have been ongoing as to whether they've actually succeeded in doing this. We know, for instance, Nigeria has a satellite in orbit, but that's to enhance communication. We know what is in Ghana. Ghana too have one. They have one in orbit. But then again to enhance communication. But we've not gotten to a point where we'll consider sending ourselves to even what do you call it, Kilimanjaro satellites yet. But I'm not saying that we do not have the ability. I think we've not given our scientists the vacuum or the ability or the tools to be able to travel that length. You take every national budget and you look at how much has been allocated to academia purposely for research. I take a case that I was involved in. I was part of those first team that worked on what do you call it, the remote sensing department at University of Ghana.
You've been saying that.
And I recall when that center was being built, Professor Youngson and others were very, very instrumental. Professor Sonsori, they were all very instrumental in putting that place. And we had one climatologist, I mean, who basically came directly under his watch. One of Professor is it Sonsori? One of those professors. Actually, when that was done, a bulk of the finance to build that facility came from Germany. In fact, Bonn University were doing that in collaboration with University of Ghana and collaboration of this. So the finance itself came purposely mainly from Germany. Now you ask yourself, since that facility has been there, how much contribution has Ghana government allocated to that as budget? So, okay, now you have a well functioning, and at that time that was one of the best remote sensing departments across the whole of West Africa. Now how much have we devoted to this department to ensure that students who are here, people who come all the way to conduct research, are able to deploy the best of the technology? I recall there was this TA called Alute. I mean, very brilliant guy. I think he might be a lecturer, so the very brilliant guy. A person like that, given the ability, given the support, that they don't have to think of whether their salary is being increased and therefore they want to go on strike, or they don't have to think about whether their allowances are being paid and therefore they have to sign petitions to go and protest and other things. But we'll focus knowing that the system is working to support them. People like that have no doubt that given the opportunity can do so much for the country, can do so much. I recall one incident where we had to map up. There was an issue about degradation and other things, and we needed to map up the whole of Greater Accra. I mean, the what they call it, the Greater Accra Plains, the farm days. And now, when you did the cost analysis of getting people to go and do the ordinary cartographic this and that they normally do, and or deploying a satellite, and from that lab we're able to tap into satellites, and then we're able to map up the whole. Actually, within a space of time, you are able to map up the whole thing. And if you look at the cost element involved, initial cost is good, building that facility, but I mean deploying it to do certain things is very, very cheap. Are you get me? And we have people who are capable of doing that, in the whole for this. There was this guy from Kofredua, for instance, that did something, and some of us thought that he needed support. That was recently. We approached our ministers, but you know what? Their brains are not working that way. There was a major flood in Accra. Now, there's this guy at Kufudra. He built homemade drones with very high-powered cameras. Now, a friend of mine knew the guy. So what he did was he deployed, the drones to map up areas that are flooded at the height of it. At the height of it. So when it wasn't that the thing was
subsided.
No. At the height of it, the guy deployed the drones. They traveled from Kufudra to Accra, deployed the drones to map up, have Alajo and all of things.
Yeah.
Now the idea for him was that look, we'll know this. We'll be able to tell the amount of rain that has fallen. We're able to tell that if this amount of rain falls, we are able to know the damage that can be caused, and therefore, if solutions are to be found, it will help in planning, map out the whole of Odo, Alajo, and all those things. Now, when we saw some of this, we said, okay, this guy needs help. He needs help because the military were there. They could have used this. They didn't do it. Okay, the minister that we approached at that time, was not interested. But these are the kind of people I think that if we give them the needed support, they can do more. They can do more. So we've not seen the value of investing in science and investing in certain things. That is, in my view, that is our problem. Yeah.
But somebody will say that you are hungry, you are so desperate, your children are lying down on the floor. So it's like not having money and they're going to buy maybe a nice scholarship. You don't have a room. You go to buy your children hungry and you are sitting there.
Let's take a classic. Let's take one a typical example. If you look at the cardiology center at Kolebu, it was again perceived at a point that, look, why don't we fly people to, or we can do our this to do. But it took someone, Jerry, and it took a few people to say no. We have brilliant cardiologists. Professor Frimpong Boateng. I don't know why he left to go and do politics.
Brilliant.
Are you getting me?
Yeah.
It took them. People invested in them. They invested in themselves to come back and get that started. And I'm proud of what they're doing because my late father, benefited from that. The brilliant work being done by the likes of Dr. Tanko. From that department. Are you getting me? Investment has to go into science, and sometimes people will think it's money being thrown away, but we're developing the brains, their capability to be able to solve our own problems. And I think we're lacking the investment. The government, successive government, have not prioritized some of those things.
Well, listeners, it's Starr Radio UK. 9 minutes to the top of the hour at the time. Mr. Frank Davis for you. I'm Archie. And we were looking at some of the scientific advancement that is going on and how Africa has also been left behind in view of the NASA probe, that is the Perseverance on Mars. But what do you think? We will bring you more.
Someone say, let's also deploy something if it lands in Nigeria. We know we have done.
We did try. We did try. Okay, let's go to the U.S. President Joe Biden has addressed the nation as the U.S. passed the figure of 500,000 COVID-related deaths. The highest number of any country. As a nation, he goes on to say, we can't accept such a cruel fate. We have to resist becoming numb to the sorrow, he said. The president and vice president and their spouses then observed a moment of silence outside the White House during a candle lighting ceremony. Now, confirmed U.S. infections now stand at 28.1 million. Also, a global record. So somebody say, upon all the advancement and everything, look at how many people have died there. Look at the rate of infection there.
And actually, I have no doubt that when all this is done, there'll be introspection. You also have to look at lifestyles that have actually resulted in it. There's one thing I find very difficult to agree with scientists, and not I wouldn't say scientists. It's a fact, but they're not. In my view, they're looking at the facts in isolation instead of looking at it holistically. This whole issue and campaign about it is the minority who are dying more, and therefore that is a fact. We die more, disproportionately we're dying. But the question is, why are we dying? No one should tell me it's anything genetic.
No.
Because if it's anything to do with genetic, then Africans should be dying more.
Yeah.
That has not been established. So why are we dying more? We know South Africans, they are dying.
Yeah.
Are you get me? But we know in other African countries, yeah, although they are dying, but not at that rate. Are you get me? The question then has to do with, at what point do people get exposed to the virus? How do they come in contact with the virus? Is it during the course of their work? What sort of work do they do? Who are those who are likely in the workplaces to come in contact with the virus? How many people of all this lockdown, we talk of people who are able to work from home? How many people of our kind are able to work from home? The kind of jobs we do, the kind of job they do, how many of them can work comfortably from home?
Yeah.
If I'm a taxi driver, how do I work from home? That's driving a taxi. I'm a security officer. How do I secure the premises of a multinational bank working from home?
Yeah. You have to be there. You have to be there.
Are you getting me? I'm a care worker. How do I take care of someone working from home? So, although, yes, it's a fact, we cannot dispute it that our people are dying more. The question that must also be asked is, how do we get exposed more to the virus? And obviously, it has to do with the kind of job we do.
We do, yeah.
That is true in the UK, and that is true in the US.
Yeah.
You get me? Yeah. That is true in the US as well. If you take, let's say, JP Morgan Bank, let's take a bank for instance. You talk of all the staff over there. Yes, my friend's son works, a young boy works with them. He works from home now. Those are people 1 and 2 that you can. But again, within that trading floor, there are people who are security guards who must secure those buildings. So although the bank will be closed, there are people who will still be there. I mean, most of them will be our kind, right? So they have to take transport to get to work.
Yeah. Because if they drive, they get there, they're going to have a problem parking and stuff. So
because even if they drive, Archie, the parking ticket, what do you call it? How much they need to pay?
Yeah.
At park lane.
Yeah.
At bank for 4 hours alone is more than what they are taking home.
Yeah.
4 hours you pay almost £30. An hour £7.50. Some places even an hour £9. What do you call it? NCP car park will charge you £9.50 for an hour to park in certain car parks within the city. And you ask yourself, okay, even if I drive, is it worth me being paid £10 an hour, going to be paying car park $9.50? It's better asleep. Are you getting me? So they'll be forced to take a bus. They'll be forced to jump on a public transport. And we know they might not admit it. Public transport has been one of the means of transmitting the disease. The virus. So yes, it is good that we are. My friend who went to just one day went to work at Chelsea, got coveted, right? The staff at where she worked, none of them had COVID. She had been home for weeks and didn't have COVID before going to work, right? Where else could she have gotten it? She got it on underground. So no one can convince me that she did, because from home underground to work, work underground home. None of the workplaces, no one that you came in contact with over there had it. And they didn't even show symptoms to talk of. But they all went to test and saw negative. You alone had it. Meanwhile, you've not interacted with anyone for weeks before embarking on that journey. What else could you have got it? You wearing a mask, but you got it on the transport. So you look at our people, the jobs that we do has contributed. And actually, deep reflections need to be made as to how can we make workplaces safer for our kind. How do we ensure that those who are doing those works are given maximum protection, or we find different ways of minimizing the risks that we expose them to,
Okay, listen, let's start ready. 2 minutes to the top of the hour. We're going to take a quick break. We come back. We are taking you to China. I mean, the Canadians, Canada's parliament have declared China's treatment of the Uyghurs a genocide. And as I was asking myself the question, well, they will tell you that we've not killed them. We took them to school. We said they should educate themselves there and all that. Now, what exactly is going on there? And what sanctions can be put or brought against China? Because you bring sanctions against them, like Trump was doing. He places a sanction. They also place a sanction on you. So virtually, you're not going to be doing much. And when most countries, especially on the African continent, need Chinese help, what are you talking about? Well, we'll be having a look at that and a lot more. Stay tuned.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. The of darkness.
So what did that
myself and the world will adjust. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on the CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Starr Radio. Radio for the people, by the people.
Welcome back to the program. It's now 2 minutes past the top of the hour. It is the Starr Radio UK Tuesday edition of the morning show. With me in the studio, Mr. Frank Davis. Let me announce the lines opened. Now, if you want to join in the conversation, just dial 0208-133-2257 or 58 0208-133-2257 or 58. Now, those of you in US and Canada or in the Caribbean area, you can call us on 001-718-303-2737. 001-718-303-2737. You can also text or WhatsApp us. It is 075-3966-1744. 075-3966-1744. Or you can tweet at us. Our Twitter handle is Starr Radio UK, and our email address is info@starradiouk.com. Okay, and like I announced earlier on, this afternoon, exactly at 1:30, we'll be having BB Clement coming on the show with BB Means Business. And today she's going to be looking at how to use a webinar as a marketing tool. So make sure you stay on to listen to it, because this time is a virtual world. It's not a man's world or a woman's world, as some people say it. It's a virtual world that we live in. So make sure you do so. You join her on that program. All right then. So make a date. Make a date. It's from 1:30 to 2:30 exactly. Okay. Now, with me in the studio, Mr. Frank Davis, and we're moving on swiftly. Now, the Chinese, Canada's House of Commons have voted overwhelmingly to declare China's treatment of its Uyghur minority population a genocide. The motion, which passed 266 to 0, was supported by all opposition parties and a handful of lawmakers from the governing Liberal Party. The Prime Minister, Justice Trudeau, and most members of his cabinet abstained. The motion makes Canada just the second country after the United States of America to recognize China's action as genocide. Now, lawmakers also voted to pass an amendment asking Canada to call on the International Olympic Committee to move the 2022 Winter Olympics from Beijing if the Chinese government continues this genocide. China responded late on Tuesday, that's today, saying it condemned and rejected Canada's motion. According to Reuters report, it quoted Foreign Ministry spokesman Wang Weibin as saying that China had lodged stern representation with Canada. Now, we know these areas and the way China deals with its citizens, especially if you don't toe the line. I mean, they have a concept that they believe in, and they want everybody to believe in that, and they do their best. Okay, we see the problem with Hong Kong and some of the other the areas who don't want to abide by that. Now, what is China doing that is so bad that we have to term that as a genocide?
Archie, again, here we come to what genocide and the definition that people will call. I mean, how they want to define it at a point in time, because the same events could be happening somewhere and it will not be deemed genocide. But let's go back to what actually is happening at China. Now, a group of people who are Muslims are being camped. All right.
Yeah, they say re-educating. Is it they're re-educating?
They are being camped. They actually being taken from their homes, being camped, taught different principles, different cultures, to accept different ways of life from what they are used to. We know under United Nations conventions, freedom of association is freedom of worship, freedom of religion is a right that is guaranteed. What you're looking over here, that people are being attacked because of their faith. People are being taken to those camps that are akin to, or probably can call them a semi-concentration camps, because of not because of any crime they've done, but because of their faith. That is basically it. I mean, it's because they are Muslims, and that is why they've been. Some of them might have even been against what other Muslims might have been doing, the trouble they might have caused in that area of. Some of them might have been against it. I mean, it's just like in this country, you cannot, or probably the West, you cannot tell me the bomb attacks, the knife attacks that have come to those that have come from the likes that saw Rigby, I mean, the soldier being murdered, that even parents of those who committed those acts support them. No, some of them by surprise, their community. You saw even the India, this girl who went to Syria. You saw the way the parents were actually in pain. Are you get me? Were in pain. The couple that were convicted that they supported their son. They had no knowledge that their son was actively involved in that. So, some of those who are going through some of these what China call re-education, whether you're taking their brains off and setting another chip in there, they know. Actually, it is an attack on their fundamental human rights, freedom of movement, just because they belong to a group or they believe in certain faith. Actually, it's difficult to be able to see the actions of China and not to condemn it. But someone will ask again, I mean, Saudi Arabia is doing similar thing. I mean, are you getting me?
Yeah.
Why is it not classified? What happened in Canada, you again will see that there's serious division. The governing party itself was non support of the vote, and it's only a few people that voted with the opposition. This is opposition using this just to get Trudeau and his people a bit into corner, or what is it, or they actually mean what they're done. Look, China has done this, and therefore the government has not acted on behalf of our people, and therefore let's stand up. But I might say Canada seems to be one of the most tolerant countries globally. So no wonder they will stand up for they seem to be one of they appear to be one of the most welcoming countries in the West. So if anything like that is going, and I do know that as a matter of fact that they were one of those countries that condemned Myanmar when that incident happened 2-3 years ago, when a group of people were being denied of they were one of they were one of the few first countries that condemned that. So again, that is showing a bit of consistency in what they believed in. Even when Trump was closing their borders, they were opening the borders and welcoming people to that country, so which is good on them.
Well, that area, a bit of education there. It is an autonomous area like Tibet, like that, and it has powers of self-governance. But in practice, both face major restrictions by the central government, and it is also rich in oil and natural gas. And because of its proximity to Central Asia and Europe, it's seen as seen by Beijing as an important trade link, and therefore they will let go. They will do whatever to press them. And do you think that this autonomy that some of these countries have, like we take Hong Kong, we take Tibet, we are taking these ones, and Singapore and all those ones. Do you think they need a new negotiation? Because it looks like China is now saying, well, whatever we signed there at the time, now we don't want to obey that. We want to do this. This is what we want. And
it's actually, China always want to get more territories. That's not only China alone. Every country. Who told you that Britain gave out its colonies? They didn't give it out, and even now they still have control over it. Like Kofi Ale would say, we were created as warehouses, where when they want something, they come for it. So we have a good diamond warehouse. We have oil warehouse in Nigeria. We might have different warehouses located in different countries, and they divided us based on what they perceive to be what we get into the country. And they were not stupid also to be able to put in most of our countries put French and English together, because they know that is a source of continuous agitation. I mean, they actually knew exactly continuous agitation that will forever continue to haunt you. So actually, in my view, I've always believed that agreement, just like the way married couple will renew their vows once a while, to see if they still believe in what they saw in them.
It's not biblical, renewal of vows.
Actually, it's not. I'm not talking about over here. I haven't said biblical over here. Today, I deliberately didn't talk about. As a married couple renew their vows.
Okay.
But we do know they buy flowers to renew their vows.
Of course.
We know they go on holiday to renew their vows.
Okay.
We know also they wake up in the morning and renew their vow that I love you before they go out. So they renew their vows on a daily basis and different. So I do believe that some of these agreements are culminated in the marriage between territories, whichever way you look at it. Once a while needs to be reviewed, once a while needs to be looked at, because you agree that most of those people who negotiate those things might not still be alive. The new, when they were negotiating the facts that were available helped, and what they could have perceived at that point in time as prospects in the future would have helped them to draft those agreements. Today, our perception of what the realities are today might not be the same as what 50 years ago, 20, 30 years ago, 100 years ago, those who draft those agreements perceived to be the best, or probably an example of the reality that will confront us today. So I'm not saying we're going to be throwing an agreement away. I'm not saying one party should just go and say, okay, I'm no more. I'm not talking about Trump way of ripping up agreements, but I do believe that every agreement should have an inbuilt mechanism which allows for reviewing. So if I would sign an agreement now for the next 25 years without a clause in there that every, let's say, 10 years or 5, we have to depend on the agreement. That's why even tenancy agreement, you do not give perpetual tenancy agreement. I mean, initially you give, observe the person. If it's a lodger agreement, you give the person 6 months, and depending on how you might either rule it over, you can terminate it, and that's it. So I do believe some of these agreements, especially if we see that they are leading to conflicts, agitations and other things, then I do believe that at the time people need to stand up and say, okay, look, let's look at what brought us together in the first place again. We saw what is happening in Nigeria now. In Nigeria, I will still maintain my stand that the best option is for Nigerians to sit together to be able to look at the partnership agreement between them, because we are being told now even Benin, Republic of Benin, is looking at joining. They want to join Nigeria at the 37th state of that country. So some people want to break away, some people want to join. Are you getting me? They need to look at where the conflict, where the trouble, where the problem is. But if you continue to be silent on that and only have Buhari appointing 9 out of 11 advisors into the Security Council from one area, then expect agitations to happen.
Well, listeners, Starr Radio UK. 60 minutes past the top of the hour. Now the BBC has published an article, very brief, but it's something that when I saw and I read it, I'm like, okay, do you think we really want to do this? Now, call for African languages to have higher status in schools. Now, I know Kofi Ali will be against that. Okay, he talks about not necessarily. He's saying that when one particular language becomes the dominant language, where meanwhile it's not everybody does not hail from that particular, then we have a problem. But the story says colonial history has led to English, French, or Portuguese dominating education and the workplace across a large number of African countries. But many want this changed. If you have lived with people or seen people or come to in contact with people who, let's say, have lived in the US and have seen how racism works, I mean, how you are indiscriminately, I mean, what they mistreat you and stuff like that. These are people who don't want to have anything to do with those slave masters or whatever they term them. Do you think it's about time that we also now, so not necessarily saying in Ghana tree, but look, if you are in Accra, Ghana should be, I mean, one of the language.
I'm able to switch tongues.
I mean, which is good.
I'm able to switch tongues and other things. I mean, sometimes you do not wash your. It helps at any. That's the identity that we identify ourselves with. Now, what is happening in our part of the world? It is not that the English is dominating. It's because economically, languages are not paying off.
How would languages pay off?
Okay. Recently, there was a circular from Valley View University. You know, we have Institute of Languages.
Yeah.
Now, if you go to almost all the university, they have linguistics departments and others, and linguistics department from languages and other. They study different characteristics of language. Now, Valley View University was trying to discontinue. In fact, they said they would discontinue the teaching of Ga in their primary schools. Why? Lack of teachers, lack of qualified teachers. Apart from the teaching field, now we see a lot of people with these languages going to, where else do they go? So if I say that it's not paying off, so people are switching. Those subjects are not being marketed in our schools, like, oh, banking, I'm doing banking, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this,
I'm doing languages. What language are you doing?
We've not made them rewarding enough, because if someone goes into teaching and they are expert, you know, this is a Valley View University that are lacking Gan teachers. Are you getting me? Now, if I'm a Gan teacher, am I going to be paid well when I get there? That's another question. If the teaching profession, especially those languages, are not going to be paying me, then I better will want my word or myself to study the subject that will help me earn a living. Are you getting me? That is putting pressure on the teaching of some of these languages. Now, the interest must be generated. We know GBC, for instance, have, if you take GBC, they have what do you call it, programs
in various local languages.
But actually, the proliferation of media is also killing that. Okay. I mean, if you take Ghana, for instance, we're basically becoming an English account state. That if you go to Ghana embassy or you go to certain, people expect you, because you don't speak.
You don't speak Chi.
Okay. Do you know, sometimes I pretend I don't understand Chi?
I do that a lot. I go to places, I pretend I don't understand.
You come now one Ghana. Look, even except from Krakasa, I'll pretend as if I don't know what you are saying. Know that I do not want to speak it. In fact, I should speak it to encourage it. But it is because of the way we have viewed it that I must speak it to be a Ghanaian. Which is where Kofi Ali and others will come in strongly and say, look, an account language doesn't mean you are a Ghanaian. You must, everybody must speak it to be a Ghanaian. He wants to speak his Dagbari. He wants to speak his Kasina language. He wants to speak his what you call Basari, or whatever you call Chumunu, or whatever, or Krachi, or whatever you call it. Now, but actually, Keely, I think our education syllabus must make room and focus on that. I know we used to have, wherever you are, let's say if you are in Accra, your second language that is taught at school will be Ga. Sometimes the Archie. If you are in a Volta region, for instance, your second language, a language that you say is Ewe. I think we should go past that to where we give people the option to experience languages that might even not be in their geographical area. I understand the logic will be that they teach you, you go home, you might practice in there. But we should have people in Ashanti region, we should give them the option. If we give them the option to study French, we should also give them the option to be able to say they want to learn Dagari, they want to learn Krachi, they want to learn what you call it, one of the 36 or one of the key levels that are taught in schools. Someone in Volta region, somewhere in Aplau area, should be given the option of learning infantry, learning. I wrote my exam, I wrote Kwapim tree.
Okay.
I wrote a Kwapim tree over there, but I tell you, if I tell you how I wrote the exam, you laugh. But I scored a good grade because you know what? I mean, half of what I was writing was English. But I can put in inverted comments and answer in English and write it. But I'm saying that we should try and encouragement. I think the BBC article is pointing to something that we are gradually killing our local languages. And if evidence is there to show that years ago we had dialects that are no longer in existence. Then the danger over here is that we might get to a point, if we do not encourage and incorporate some of these into our lives, it will get to a point where increasingly it will be extinct.
But you see, the problem that I have here is you go buy a radio set, okay, the manual is in English. Your dialect hasn't got anything there. You buy a car, the manual is in English, everything. So because we are not developing things for ourselves, so that we say, okay, I developed this camera, okay, this is a manual, I have English, I have Chi, I have that. So the local language. So when you learn that particular language, or you go to learn how to read that language, you are able to see something that you can use it for. But we don't see anything of that sort.
That has to be that's where leadership and governance comes in. It used to be the case in this country where English was the predominant text that you get from the councils. Today, when councils are sending you literature, you are able to get them in other languages. You get them in Somali, you get them even Twi, you get them some languages. I recall in 2007 when I tried doing solar, I tried going to solar. The manual, I wrote the manual myself, okay, because the manufacturing company were giving me a manual that is not what I wanted. So I had to fly there. We sat down. I wrote the manual the way I wanted it, the product manual for both the inverters, the chargers, and other things. I wrote the manual myself, trying to understand so that
when the layman takes it, they will understand how to.
What government will have to now do. We do not manufacture this, but someone is profiting from it by bringing it in. If I manufacture a pen and I'm selling that pen in a territory, I must make sure that pen is useful for those people. Government can pass a law that every television set that is brought from China, that is brought from Korea, Samsung, before you sell Samsung on our market, it must have a manual that contains
some of the
languages, Ga, Twi, Ewe, or some for start. If Samsung wants to do business in Ghana, they must do that. If Huawei wants to sell phones in Ghana, they must. Why do we take a manual for Apple and we have Polish? We have this, we have this, we have this in it. It's because they've looked at the market, they've looked at where the people, and if we are consuming and we're also not putting a bit of demand on the manufacturers and the importers, because if we tell the importers, look, as part of the licensing criteria to be able to sell this microwave in the country, someone might buy it to a village where the person does not understand English or cannot read English, can only read Twi. Why don't we make sure that you cannot be granted license to sell on the market unless we have inspected that your manual can be read or can be, people can read your manual in A, B, C, D languages. If we do that, it will help. And I don't think that is difficult for every government to do. So it's about it's a policy environment that the government will have to say, okay, look, to be able to sell this, you must conform to A, B, C, D.
Okay. Listeners, Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. 12:28 the time, the morning show, the program. This program will be brought to a close exactly at 1 o'clock. The lines are open. You want to join in, feel free to do so, and we will allow you to make your voice heard. Okay. Now, Oman has suspended arrivals from 8 African countries. So let me put it across so that if you are coming from that country or listening to us and you want to go to Oman, you know. Out of the 10, 8 are African countries. That's Sudan, South Africa, Nigeria, Tanzania, Ghana, Ethiopia, Guinea, and Sierra Leone. The other 2 are Brazil and Lebanon. They are not allowed to go to Oman. So if you want to make a trip there, please check before you leave, as we say here on Star Radio UK. So now let's move on to one other story. Nigeria. Information coming through shows that the statistics that was being gathered via the COVID fall short of what was actually happening on the ground. So the story says findings of a survey in Nigeria suggest that rates of infection from COVID-19 in the country are much higher than previously reported. The result indicates that 1 in 5 of those tested in the states of Lagos, Enugu, Nasarawa have been infected. Now, in the country's largest city, Lagos, as many as 4 million people could have contracted the disease, although the official total is currently 54,000. Now, straight on. So you can tell that the pandemic is ravishing our communities. But because we don't have the statistics as we have it here to actually paint maybe close to the real picture, that's what we see all this. Overall, they are saying 54,000 people are ones that have been affected.
Actually, and you will recall, if it comes to Nigeria particularly, there was a situation last year, I think around May, that a group of people died
in Kano.
And we couldn't get explanation as initially as to what killed them. Later on, people were attributing to COVID, others were disputing it. The governor came in, and I mean, those stories are there. We maintain that the numbers we're getting from our people were not right, especially when it comes to even the testing numbers, because we were not doing mass testing as we should, or in other countries were doing. And there's, apart from Rwanda and South Africa, that did quite a good job with on the testing. The rest of us were making noise, but we're actually not testing the way we should. And therefore, no one is going to tell me that the numbers that the governments were giving up were accurate numbers. No, we will be stupid to believe that those were accurate numbers, because testing was not being done the way it ought to have. Okay, now as to how they getting their estimate about 1:5, for me
they're saying that the tests that they did, random tests that they did, every 5 people that they tested, one had it.
Then you have to look at which areas they did their test. Is it Lagos area they did their test? I mean, they mentioned some
Lagos, Enugu, and Nasarawa.
How do they choose their sample size?
That's
another question. But that would have been about 20% infection rate. Now, if that is the case, then it's still definitely good news for us that if we have 20% infection rates and we do have deaths that minimal, then there's something good news in those countries.
But you know, we have, I mean, we take that of Kano, for example, where we know that they are mostly Muslims, and when you die, less than 24 hours, you are made to be buried. And we have people in the communities who are buried just like that, So maybe,
but actually, we would have seen the trend across the whole of Africa if the death rates are as high as we do have. In one way or the other, actually, this virus, we are told that it enjoys when you lie down. You look at our people, by nature of our work and by nature of the kind of lifestyle we do, we wake up, we move from one location to another. We exercise, basically.
Yeah.
That is why, yes, sikafoyare, a lot of people do not have the sikafoyare, diabetes.
Hypertension.
Because they do a lot of I mean, you might think it's funny, but it's natural exercise.
Yeah.
Some of us are looking for time to walk. They walk by default. They walk by default. So whether you go to hospital and your doctor will tell you you have pre-diabetes symptoms and therefore do 30 minutes walk every morning or a day, by default, before it's 6 o'clock, the person has walked to an auntie's house, walked to do some palm wine somewhere. So by default, some of those things that we take for or we struggle to do, they don't pay for gym like the way we do.
But a few, just a handful of
by their feet. And if we are told that exercising helps in building an immune system against some of these viruses, then actually it's the natural healing process that has helped the continent. That's what I look at. The question will be, how about South Africa? And that's the case that needs to be looked at.
Well, sadly, David Simango, the leader of Mozambique's second largest opposition party, has died in neighboring South Africa. Mr. Simango had been evacuated to South Africa on the 13th of February. A few days earlier, his wife tested positive for coronavirus, but when Mr. Simango himself was tested, the result came back negative. His brother Lutero Simango told journalists at the time that his brother was having trouble breathing, and so it was thought advisably to send him to South Africa for further treatment. He had been feeling ill for about a week at the point. Mrs. Mango was the mayor of Beira on the coast north of capital Maputo. So he's died. Now, here, once again, you are looking at a test. The wife was tested. She was positive. He was tested. He was negative. Now, was it the right test? Did they do the right testing?
That's another question. Whether the test was up and whether the test was right. Whether it was not the kind of test that we know. We are being told that are being conducted somewhere. But actually, whichever way you look at it, may he so rest in peace. Man, that's all we can say for now.
Okay. Now a final one from Nigeria quickly, and then we go to Ghana. Nigeria government to lift 100 million Nigerians out of poverty with gas expansion program. Now that's a very interesting story. The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Chief Timpere Silva, had said that the federal government plans to lift over 100 million Nigerians out of poverty through National Gas Expansion Program. Now, according to Silva, the program was a practical demonstration of President Muhammadu Buhari's commitment to lift 100 million Nigerians out of poverty by using gas value chain as catalyst for social and economic development in Nigeria. Now, the minister made this revelation in Edo Ekiti during the inauguration of the NGEP in the southwest of Nigeria on Monday as part of efforts to make gas an alternative energy for industrial, transportation and domestic use. Let me leave it there. Now, you see how our communities have been set up. Not long ago, this place in Accra, one of the big marketing places that was engulfed in fire, Kantamanto. Kantamanto burnt down. Burnt into ashes. Now, our areas, our communities have not well been planned. So if government is sitting there, you know what, we're going to take 100 million people out of poverty, blah blah blah. You're going to cause them to. You're going to have disaster.
Actually, I recall early 90s, was it 80s or 90s, when the use of gas cylinders was something that Ghanaians were drumming very, as part of efforts to basically stop deforestation and minimize the effect on this thing. And actually, you see, in my view, our society have been organized or we structured in a way that does not allow some of these things, but we must come to a point where we need huge investment. We need for communities who need to be taken over and transformed. So you take a place like Kantamanto, for instance. We're gonna take just like the way they did in KJT. Now, a few years ago, KJTR market is not the KJTR we know today.
Yeah.
Today the KJTR market can have, I mean, proper ventilation. You can pipe gas from one location to all this.
Yeah.
Instead of the small cylinders that the people are using. So in my view, it's going to take a huge time, but we need to look at the possibility of reorganizing our societies, especially from the urban areas. If you go to Kofi Ali's village, I don't know how you're going to tell them to start piping gas economically it might not be viable. Can we do just like the way we now begin to do community water distribution systems? Is that possible? I mean, community water distribution systems. Can we do community gas distribution systems? A depot and the rest. I mean, where we have planned communities like estate, it should not be an excuse now that an estate is built and we do not have a gas distribution point
there.
Yeah, but again, that has not been put into planning, because government by now should be able to say that, okay, fine, for every estate that is being built, just like the way you connect electricity, the way you connect water, connect gas from a string trap point metered in every home. That is how we're going to begin, I mean, transforming changing our society. But I know what they're planning now will be the gas cylinder thing that Ghana pushed, those gas stove and other things. I mean, if that's what they're going to do, because they have a lot of gas. I mean, flaring in it for nothing. And if it's going to help, I mean, then why not?
Okay, if it's going to help, why not? But we hope that health and safety will be taken into consideration before that is done. Mr. Kofi Ali, call us back. You called, but your line is dropped. Call us back. We are in Ghana now. For the past few days or a week now, there have been this LGBT, and they added something to it. KOI. I don't know what a KOI means. I don't know whether question and intelligence or quizzing and increasing. Well, but Ghanaians must respect the rights of homosexuals. Most Reverend Philip Name has said. The president of the Ghana Catholic Bishop Conference, Most Reverend Philip Name, has pleaded with Ghanaians to make it a habit of respecting the rights and choices of lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and intersex. That's the KOI life. Okay. Now, people in society, as they are human beings, that equally need protection like everyone else needs. Now, in relating to this story, we have one journalist, Ignatius Ano, a journalist with Euronews, who has admitted that he is a homosexual and has over the years denied his sexuality anytime he is confronted with it. According to him, he denied being gay because of the fear of losing his journalism career, admitting that the issue of homosexuality is very controversial. And not said, some people who have seen through the lens of being a homosexual and his subsequent denial may see the admissions as contradictory. Now, taking this, and then yesterday there was one story. We have is it one of the NDC. I've gotten his name. Let me see whether I can get his name. Saying that LGBTQI should not be tolerated anywhere in Ghana.
Is what this MP, the MP for Pram Pram.
Okay, he said, is it Okujato?
No, it's not Okujato. Sam George.
Sam George. Yeah. Okay. So you, putting all this together. What is should government just approve it, or what should government do?
Archie, it's a very, very, very controversial subject, and I'm going to speak and I'm going to comment on this as an individual, and I'm going to be guided by my beliefs and my faith.
Okay.
Now, Archie, I have one principle in life. I will disagree strongly with you. I will not agree with whatever you do, but I will not use that as a way to harm you.
Okay.
Now, the Catholic bishop was saying because the church has have accepted that as part, and then they respect that.
Okay.
I have this because if you listen to a lot of people who are opposing, I do not support. I am not a gay. I will not become a gay.
Okay.
I have gay friends. I know people who are gay. In fact, we've worked with one who was a lesbian before. Actually, I have friends whose brothers are gay. Will I encourage someone to become gay? Their own personal reason. But I do believe in one thing. The God that I serve, the Christian, because I'm using the Christian this and because a lot of people who are commenting from Ghana and other things on this gay issue are saying they are using the Bible and sometimes their culture as part of, we don't want it, Christianity is against this and that. The God that we serve does not like sin, but like sinners.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And I also believe that everything on this planet Earth was created by him, including the gay. It was created by him.
Yeah.
If, for instance, I say because I'm a Christian and therefore I hate gays, I hate Muslims, I hate Hindus,
I hate atheists,
I will be disrespecting God himself who created me and told me that everything that is on this earth, above it, beneath it, and on it, was created by him. Unless we are beginning to acknowledge that there is another God that created gays.
Or we will tell you that. The devil who took the clay, some of the clay that was left, and said he want to create Africans.
Are you getting me? So I quite understand that this is not. Would I want the gays to be in Ghana? If you ask me personally, I say, well, I'll look at other factors and say probably no, probably yes, depending on the. But I do believe that we have a responsibility as if we think that being a gay, being homosexual is not right. It is about talking and appealing to them and beginning to understand them why they become gays in the first place. I will not go my way trying to harm anyone, and I wouldn't encourage anyone to try to harm someone who is gay, because it affords me an opportunity to exercise my faith and preach to them to convert them back into the fold. It's for me, Christians, all of us who are talking about gay rights and other things, that woman, it is a challenge to us to be able to exercise our faith, go before these people and tell them if we indeed we believe that it is wrong, if we indeed we believe that the Christ we serve, who told us to go out there and preach to the world and win people to his fold, then this is a responsibility, a job that is given to us. Today, everybody, these evangelists, these prophets and other, this is a job for them. They should demonstrate their prophetic powers.
Somebody was of the view that they said, look at our politicians. They will steal money, and because money that is supposed to use for particular projects, they don't do it, and people die out of that. Is that no more sinful or more in the face or in the presence of God than somebody just being gay? People have been putting serious arguments there.
Yeah, actually, that's again because you see, if you are gay, you are sinning against your body. That's what it means. I saw a video from India. I'll share with you, but we can't play it in public. And the way the homosexuals were being treated, for me, it just wasn't right. It just was not right. I'm not encouraging homosexuality because I can never become one. But I respect whoever wants to be a homosexual, provided you don't bring it close to me.
Yes, don't bring it to my.
Yeah, I've been approached before by a homosexual.
Hey.
Yeah, I can know it. I've been approached before by a homosexual, a man. When I go back home, I pretend that when I call. I said the day he calls my phone again,
he wants to convert you.
Won't be time. No. Actually, I stopped. This is true story. I stopped at a filling station. You know the Texaco filling station at Westwood.
Yeah.
I stopped over there to fuel my car. That was some years ago. And then this gentleman just pulled over his motorbike, tried to help me. I was driving, but I had my Vauxhall Cavalier.
Oh, okay.
You know Vauxhall Cavalier.
Yeah.
And it was heating. So I stopped to put water in this, and because I was on my way to Addington. But then I lived in Addington. Archie, this guy just came as if he was being nice, heard me. I mean, even heard the water hose, filled it. Then once I stretched my hand, I wish it were COVID days. I wouldn't even have
touched your hand.
I said thank you. The guy just stretched his hand and started trickling my palm. Then he said, I like you, know. I was in my smart suit.
Yeah, I said it's nice, bro.
I was working for American Life. So I had gone to see a client, and I said, oh, don't worry. I mean, he started talking to me. I said, don't worry. I'm in a hurry to see a client. So this is my number. Because I wanted to flee. Actually, I wanted to flee that place. So everything that I was going to do. So can we go home? I said, look, call me in the evening. I go home, be quiet. Then he called. I pick him. I said, listen, the next time you call my phone, the next time you call my phone, I will report you as harassment. Never call me again. I use all kind of because he called me. He called me. I didn't call him. So I use all kind of pretend. So I have been approached before. I have my own principles, and I have a knife.
Listener, don't do what he's saying, please.
All I'm saying is that I've been born not as a homosexual.
Yeah.
But I've never experienced those who think that they can wear skirts. I've never been their shoes and therefore cannot speak for them. I disagree with their sexuality. I disagree with it. I wish they are not. But that's what they've chosen. Just like the way they also wish I am a homosexual. Yeah. They all want to convert me every day. I'm the one who came here that were doing this and first he sought to know whether we were ready to work with a homosexual. I said, look, what you are looking at is a story. You are homosexual, that is up to you. When it comes to job, when it comes to business, totally different thing. We work together. I'm not going to carry a machete because he walks through my door and he's a homosexual. I'm not going to carry an anointing oil and come and pour it on him
to convert him.
No. I wouldn't do that. I pray to God. And there has been an occasion that we've had a conversation trying to understand why he's gay. An open conversation. Do you know some of them, because women have rejected them, that's why they
yeah. And there are some women who, because men have rejected them, or they think that they
can't. You know, some lesbians, because men have broken their hearts,
decide to
they are disappointed in relationships, and therefore feel that being a lesbian will save them. So some people will claim they were born. Some people, life circumstances have pushed them, and society has contributed to that. If you tell me let's go and be killing those people because they are gay, I will not be part of it. I will not be part of it. I think the issue in Ghana has to be treated very, very delicately. It has to be treated very, very delicately. I mean, we've had our president who has also indicated a year before that it comes to a time where probably legalization of that will take place. And actually, we have underground homosexuals in Ghana. They are there. We have ministers and MPs who are homosexuals. Are you getting me? Are you going to be killing someone for that? I wouldn't be part of anything that will harm a human being just because of their sexuality. I respect them because they are human beings. I do not accept, what they are. Just like they also do not accept me. Who tells you that if I declare myself homosexual today, the homosexual community will not jubilate because they actually getting someone into their fold who will now become a part of them.
But it's serious because what is going on? We have a member of the communication team of the NPP, who Dr. Eric Adodankwa, who has called on Ghanaians to locate the office of the LGBTQI and shut it down if the police fail.
These are political talks. Some of these people are political because in between NDC and MPP, they will begin to play which of the leaders is against, and they play into our religion and our culture. They know these are political games. They know culturally we've not come to a point where we accept that. We know religiously we've not come to a point where we accept that. Ghanaians belongs to either Islamic religion, Christian religion, or culturally they belong somewhere.
Yeah.
And if all these three forces oppose a practice, then you politically be seen, or you want to be seen as taking stands that respect what the culture and its religion accepts, and therefore expect politicians from both NDC and PP to take stands and make comments that will seem that they are against the homosexual. I mean, currently you're going to have a difficulty hearing of their leaders making a comment to Nanado is not going to come out to condemn it. He's going to be quiet.
He can't.
He's going to be quiet. Mahama will hardly come
to
unless he sees that politically it will be very advantageous for me to go this way. That's what they will do. That's different from leaders like Kenya and other things. There has been another debate, which I think, ladies, I'm going to offend you, but just accept it. Now that Kenya has legalized polygamy, some people are of the view that since homosexuality seems to be an export from the West, a culture that they are exporting, should we also export homosexuality? I mean, polygamy into the West? A debate for all of you.
Well, a debate for all of you. In the next 6 minutes, we'll bring the program to a close. But we are still in Ghana. Let me touch on this story, and then we bring the program to a close. That pertains to, I think the story has eluded me. Whoa, okay. It pertains to is it a DC who, because of her actions, has caused school children to go hungry for how many days? 4 days, because they were all appointees. They've not been confirmed. That the seat of government said that sent a circular around that nobody should make any policies, no changes should be made, so just be there, just supervising. But this DCE went on to sack the woman who is supposed to be preparing the food. I mean, the school feeding program. And when the woman, when this the new group of people were supposed to prepare to take over, came to the place, they didn't know. So the school said, no, you cannot bring anybody like that in. So they told them to go. The following day, here comes, Ghana, they bring the macho men, and they came to the kitchen, threw things apart, chased the people out of the way, and for 4 days, the children didn't get any food to eat. Now I'm asking myself this question: will government punish this DCE for the action that she's taking somewhere in the north?
Actually, the community is too quiet. You see, actually, there are certain things that government will respond to community pressure. Okay?
Yeah.
This is a school that has been allocated free feeding. School feeding program.
Yeah.
Now, because of show of power, politically, someone is punishing 100. What are the parents doing? Why are they not making noise more than this? Why? Sometimes I think we as citizens will need to actively be involved in some of these things. It's part of our responsibility. So you have a ward who is in school, and as a direct result of actions by an authority, something that is due them has been denied them. We should be making noise about it.
Even this part of the in the world, I mean, by this time the person would have resigned.
The DC would have been sacked. I mean, his position would have been untenable. I mean, he wouldn't even have the conscience to even still be sitting there calling himself a DC.
Yeah, this is Victoria Ayamba of the west of Boko West District who did that.
And then you're looking at again what is at play, because someone who she favors,
she wants to put that person in that particular.
Put that person fueled by greed, fueled by corruption, fueled by what we can get for the party. Are you getting me?
Wow. Well, listeners, I think we'll bring in the program to a close. But like I announced earlier on, exactly at 1:30, we'll be having BB Clement, and today we are looking at how to use webinar to as a marketing tool to enhance your business in whatever thing that you are doing. Now, yesterday the Supreme Court told
actually, let me say good morning to Akosia, who is actually listening to us, and Akosia is asking a very question. It says, but is it true women turn lesbian because of a man breaking their heart? But it's true, women turn. So she's a woman,
well, yeah,
and this is what she's saying. It said, I mean, but it's true. Women turn lesbian because of a man breaking their heart. So it's confirming what she's saying.
That, yeah.
And she's asking, oh, that's why are you going to? Well, oh, all right. She's saying, is polygamy legal in Kenya?
Yes, it
polygamy is legal in Ghana. And she said, I don't respect them. They have stolen the rainbow. Something so innocent, they have made it their own. I agree with some people who have, because now children find it difficult to distinguish between a rainbow color that used to be beautiful, children used to associate with, and gay colors. Are you getting me? So now you're crossing the street, councils are painting rainbow colors on the floor.
Is it for NHS?
Is it for NHS? Is it for rainbow as the beauty of natural light coming with particles, bringing that natural beauty and atmosphere that children look at and they go, mommy, daddy, rainbow. Or it is to celebrate gay. So I agree with Akosia. That is very, very true. That some people have taken offense because of how they have basically unjustifiably hijacked
the
rainbow colors. But apart from that, I think we've answered
the first part of it.
So yes, we respect the gays for who they are, but we do not want to be gays, and will never be gays. Our ladies are very beautiful, and
yes.
God want us to some people are saying it's a depopulation strategy for the world. The more lesbian, the more gays you have, the less children. But here's the case.
They say then they'll go and do what artificial insemination and then have babies. So we still not sorted that out.
anyway, actually, but I'll plead with our brothers and our sisters in Ghana, and for those bishops and others that will be I know this coming Sunday, the sermons are going to be tailored at that the demonic, the satanic, this thing has actually befallen on Ghana. Armageddon is coming. Jesus will be returning soon because gay has not touched
Ghana.
The what do you call it? The belly button of Christianity, which is Ghana, and therefore the end of the world has come. I accept all those things that they've said, but in that Bible alone, God also made it that I am not coming until my word has reached every.
As the word reached the gay people.
That is the question we should ask. There are areas on this planet that have not seen a Bible, not heard the word of God. And if we think God is coming to rescue us from our poverty and our miseries today because we want to go quick and God should come and take us when we've not done our duty to make sure that let's pray that they don't even discover human being on Mars, that we might have to preach there.
Yeah, that is true.
If they do it,
we have a problem. We have to be sending them messages.
God in the Bible did not define the plan. He didn't call Mars.
No. Yeah, he said the heavens.
The heavens.
Yeah.
So part of the heavens could be
Mars,
Pluto. That makes sure that the robot doesn't. The NASA team doesn't come to tell us that they can see bearded men who have never. And then we now have to actually those of you who are pastors should get ready. Yeah.
Well, we have to bring the program to a close. But before we go, the Supreme Court told Ayeni yesterday to go to the press as he did a press statement and made that statement that they say is contemptuous to go and retract it from there. Do you think that goes far enough?
Actually, I think it goes far enough because some of these things, actually, in my view, the courts are trying to do what they have to do with their profession. They want to still keep that profession as a non-touchable, they say. But you see, Archie, I disagree when we see institutions using those privileges to commit crimes. To commit crimes. Yesterday, Professor Azawa said, look, you can report me to anywhere. He was blasting the Supreme Court. I said, you can subpoena me, I will not appear. Are you getting me? He said, you can do whatever, I will not appear. Because what the court is doing, they are lawyers. They are learned people. This is a case where we are being told that, I mean, laws in our country, our sovereign law, which is the Constitution, is secondary to a judicial order. When the Constitution says that any law, any rule that is at variance with the Constitution is null and void. And you want, if I say this, I've offended the Supreme Court judge. This is a person who, a bench that someone wrote a book and unanimously joined the unanimous FC to disagree with what he even wrote in his book. Taught people. If I were one of his students, you know what I'll do? And I bought that book, I'll sue him. Because he sold me something that he believed.
Yeah, and you bought it, and now he's
telling me
that.
Are you getting me? Because he sold me lies. Anyway.
Okay, we have to bring the program to a close. Kofi, that's why I didn't pick your call. I saw you calling in, but our time is up. We need to prepare for the next program. God willing, tomorrow will come your way with another edition of the morning show. Okay, so let me say thank you to Frank, thank you to Mr. Kofi Ali, thank you to every one of you, Akosia, and every one of you who tuned in to listen to us this day. Until we come your way tomorrow with another edition of the morning show. Have a blessed day. It's me, Archie, and Mr. Frank Davis saying bye-bye for now. But don't you go away. BB Clement is coming your way with BB Means Business. Thank you. God bless.
Every I feel so